Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, yeah, we pretty much pick up where we left off yesterday. Um, Gwen pretty much just spilled the beans, just said everything. Was like, yep, I slept with your husband, and that's that. And of course, at first, Abigail doesn't believe her. But, she's like, you know what? Gwen is like, you know what? Why don't you just kind of stick around and you can hear all the dirty details of everything that we did. And at that point, I would have been like, leave. Gwen is all like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to know? Yes. Yes. You should sit there and say yes. Like you don't want to know, kick her out and go from there. But Abigail's like, sure. What is this woman, a sadist? What do you mean, sure? Fine, okay. So yeah, she pretty much just says it all. Here's the thing. At first, Abigail pretty much confirms, the whole story about her parents as far as like, finding a letter and stuff like that. Here's the thing that's really interesting that I feel people need to just really grasp. Gwen didn't seem like she had to do that much work. So, okay. She led her. She led Abigail to the letter. But everything after that was all on Abigail. Abigail chose to drink when she was on the meds. She chose to read the letter. She chose to out her parents. She chose all of that. And even with Chad, she was meant to explain. She was like, he didn't really have that much faith in you anyway. So it didn't really make my job that hard. He pretty much practically did the work. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of stress a little bit that she just glossed over for some odd reason, and I'm still kind of befuddled. Um, Gwen was like, yeah, he was drinking and stuff like that. And Abigail's like, so what, you took advantage of him when he was drunk? And she's like, no, I gave him a choice. I told him that he didn't have to do it if he didn't want to. Or something along those lines. Now, I don't mean to go all PSA on anyone, but as everyone already knows, and if you don't know, I don't know why you don't know. When you are drunk or in any sort of intoxicated state, under the influence of any kind, you cannot give consent. Okay? You just can't give consent. It's just not a thing. 1 second. So yes, you cannot give consent. That's just not an option at that point. So, I don't think that we need to kind of go any further on pretty much what she did to him. We just kind of glossed over that. Really did. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie. I feel like, don't get me wrong, what Chad did was stupid and it was wrong. And this has nothing to do with the fact that, well, I generally just don't like the character. But I feel like if Abigail knew that he was taken advantage of, aka raped, I mean, yeah, she'll still be upset with him, but I think she would have some sort of compassion. Um, but yeah, we just glossed over that, so whatever. See, after she finished telling her, well, she finished telling her all the dirty and nasty things that she done and how Chad felt about her, and literally was practically calling her a serial cheater, like saying the stuff that Chad said. As far as Chad, thinks that Abigail used her mental illness as an excuse to do whatever she wants. Oh yeah, no, she she pretty much kind of threw it all out there. And earlier Chad was with Kate, and Kate was like, you need to sit there and tell her before Gwen does, because there's a good chance you can lose your marriage. I didn't really understand why he was like, well, what should I do? What do you mean, what you should? Okay. Alright, so he asks for advice, she gives it to him, and he goes to the house. But of course, Gwen kind of beat him to the punch. So at this point, this is when Gwen is ready to leave. Of course, what I would have liked to hear was why he was doing all this. But of course, I just don't get what I want. So yeah, she walks out and pretty much just kind of leaves a mess. And I have to tell you too, I'm not gonna lie, part of me was like, if this was a couple months ago, I would have been like, well, you know what? I guess she's just being a vindictive bitch just because. We all know that's not true, but in this scene, that's what it makes it seem like. Anyway, so she leaves, and, Chad... I'm not gonna lie. I actually had a really great day. So, this isn't me just, being a dick, but, he started with the whole, I'm sorry, she tricked me, she did this, I didn't know, if I would have knew that, you and Jake weren't, I was like, yep, yep. I wouldn't have, should have, could have, highest sign is 2020. Yada, 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 yada. Cry me a river. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I don't like him. It's just, all the excuses in the world is not going to, save this conversation, save your marriage, pretty much. It's just irritating to listen to. I should have believed in you. And, Abigail's like, yep, you should have. But you didn't. And that's the part that hurts the most. Okay, sure. So at that point, she just walked off. And, Chad just stood there crying. And I looked real briefly, and then I went back on my phone because I was like, I don't care. Bro, you did this to yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. And as sad and as hurt as you feel, how do you think your wife feels? Well, we're supposed to sit there and just be all sad and... See, that's another reason why it's hard for me to feel bad for Chad. Because as bad, or, just me being compassionate, as much as I might want to sit there and feel bad for him, I don't. Because you're the one that did all this. Okay? She's the one that actually has to go through all the emotions of what you did. So why the hell am I actually feeling bad for you? So, with that being said, let's talk about Justin, Bonnie, Eli, and Lonnie. So, Eli and Lonnie get down to the police station. Bonnie's feeling a lot of pressure. So, when the sketch artist finished the first drawing, they come out, and apparently the last person, because it was like, just think about the last person that you saw or whatever. It's not that hard. And, they drew a picture of Vivian. Now, to be somewhat fair, if you're not paying attention, if you're looking at the babies, you look at her real quick and you're just mostly looking at the babies, and then you see Vivian, do they look the same? No. Do they look similar? Yeah, kinda. Not gonna lie, they do. And, of course, Lonnie goes back in that room. And, I'm like, Lonnie, I don't think that pressuring her. Because here's the thing, it's already hard enough, she's under an enormous amount of pressure to sit there and try to find these babies, sit there and remember what somebody looked like yesterday. So, she goes back in that room, and Bonnie's like, listen, before you even start, no, I don't think y'all all look alike. I was like, you know what? I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. And granted, you know what? Just just to throw this out there, there's a fine line between two people looking similar to all of them looking similar. Leave it like that. Um, so Lonnie's like, she begs and pleads to sit there and try to like get her to jog her memory, and I'm just like, if she was already having trouble before, and she already looked like she's under an enormous amount of stress, you think you coming in that room, adding more is going to speed up the process? I'm sitting there thinking that this woman's gonna crack, but apparently they had her draw it again, and they recognized the photo, which was Amanda Rayner. I think that's her name, Amanda Rayner. So, they're one step closer. So, kidnap person, or the kidnapper, Amanda, finally gets this guy to come over, which is a guy. He comes and to sit there and look and make sure the babies are good and everything like that. And, this is where we get to the part of, what are you doing, Amanda? Okay, so apparently, she's like, you're blackmailing me because of the other crime that she did. And this guy, I don't remember what his name is. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't even think they gave him a name that I can remember. But the guy's like, listen, you've been paid for it. It'll ease your conscience. She's all like, oh, this is where it just gets kind of dumb a little bit. She's like, oh, well, I became a doctor to give life, and what are you gonna do with the babies, and are you gonna sell them in the black market, and yada yada yada, and who's the person that wants these babies? And I'm just like, when you're doing illegal activities, this guy comes over and he already blackmailing you. It's probably best not to ask, I don't know, too many questions. So what is this doctor does? She asks a ton of questions. Awesome. But anyway, this guy doesn't really give her anything. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't remember what actually happens after that. I think he takes the babies or something. I'm not too sure. But yeah. So I guess she's gonna have to sit there and try to get out of town at some point. Which I don't know if she actually will. I guess we'll just wait and see. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. So I guess they're like one step closer. Justin, takes her out to go get a, lottery ticket because, she's on a, hot streak or whatever as far as luck is concerned. Also, Abe talks to Kate. Pretty much just kind of, Kate is pretty much just kind of consoling Abe because he feels like he's powerless and there's really nothing he can do. And, Kate is just like, I'm here for you if you need me. That's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else that really happened. I don't think anything else happened that was major. If it did, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. I will catch everyone in the next review.